Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me, family. I wanted to talk with you briefly today about institutionalized obstacles or whether we're putting things in our own way. Um, and so that can also be connected to that institutionalized obstacles. So, excuse me. I was talking with a friend last night before last, and we are talking about something else, but I was thinking about this idea of things being institutionalized, what we were talking about, which, I talked about this before. It seems like there's this pattern. We go to school, we graduate, usually it's 4 years. So I would say it's between usually 3 and 5 years that a change happens or something. There's always something that comes up. Um, and I was saying that to her, between 3 and 5 years, there's always this institutionalized change. And so we get used to this, through school, through college, through workplaces, internships, externships, uh, fellowships, or residencies, or postdocs, or whatever it is. And then we start to incorporate that into our lives. And I think a lot of the time it's unconscious. And I think it's the same with the obstacles that we start to incorporate these obstacles into our lives. And then um, what happens is they start popping up. And I think a lot of the time we're not realizing that we're creating these things because we always have this expectation someone's going to interrupt us or walk into, the office and say, hey, let's have an impromptu meeting, or you're getting a phone call, you get a text message, an email, or, whatever it is. And there's always, it seems like, an interruption. But I think we take a step back and realize that a lot of these things, because we have experienced them so many times, we start creating them for ourselves. And this is similar to a topic that I was talking about on a YouTube video that I did with Minister Jew, that we start attracting these things into our lives and observing these things, continue to create them, and we call it fate. So I think it's important for us to take a look at that. And so I was thinking about a Bible verse that would illustrate that. So in the New Testament, it says, we call things that were not as though they were. God called things that were not as though they were until they come. And I think it's the same with us, but we've been using it in in a negative way on ourselves. And I think if we really grab the reins on this, that we can turn this around for ourselves. So instead of saying, for example, that, something always comes up, there's always an interruption, we start saying, I have hours and hours where there's no interruption, where I can get so much work done. I feel so productive. I feel like, things are great. I'm going to really accomplish the thing that I set out to do today, or this week, or this month, this year. I'm really feeling good about this. And so when we do that, um, I think we can accomplish more. And in my experience, when I have this mentality, that we talked about, the law of assumption before, that it's already done. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. And when I think of it that way, and when I have that knowing that it's going to get done, it's going to happen, it does. Um, and then when I think about this, when I really take a step back and look at it, I think to myself, why don't I do that more often? Because every time I do it, it works. And so this is something that I think, the more we do it, the better we get at it. And we can do this, every day. We can plan the day. So it's important, if we're thinking about this, like I said, from a scriptural perspective, call things that were not as though they were until they come. So you need to be getting up, whether you're writing it down, if you're documenting it, it might be more powerful for you to write it on white paper, blue ink. But if even if you don't have a blue pen, use a black pen, use whatever the pen is that you have. Don't I would encourage you not to allow any excuses to get in the way of you doing it. So if you're gonna document it, write it down. If not, you could speak it into existence, envision it into existence. Just start saying, this is what I want my day to be like, and this is what it could be like. Why? Because you are I am, and you can create whatever it is that you want in this life. It's up to you. So this is a part of the campaign that I've been talking about being a game changer. So part of it is part of your divine inheritance, your destiny. Is create what you want to create. That's it. And so I mentioned the scripture, and so there's another scripture that would fit nicely with this, and I think it's write the vision and make it plain on tables so that he who hears it or reads it can run with it. Don't quote me exactly on that, but the most important part of that I would say is, you know, you come up with a plan for the day, for the week, the month, the year, whatever it is, and do it your way. Do what you want to do with it. Always remember that if you want to change it, you can change it. You can switch it up. You could do whatever you want. Again, I was talking about this. It's the spiritual game. It's not the same thing. So if you want to see it a different way in the moment, you can change it. And it can be what you want it to be. It doesn't have to be anything that you don't like. If you're seeing something that you don't like, remind yourself, hey, I'm the creator. I could do whatever I want. Flip it, turn it around, do what you want to do with it. You have the power to do these things. And the more I practice, I found that the better I get at it, the faster I could turn things around, the faster I could do things. But there's a study in keeping with what I'm talking about with the vision. We have this picture in our mind sometimes, or we have a vision board, or we have a picture on the phone. We looked up an image on Google, or whatever. We looked up a video on YouTube, TikTok, and we said we want to create this. We want to bring this into reality. From a scientific perspective, there's a study, a 2009 study, I believe the author is Jay Munzert. And then also I have a book that speaks on this as well. It's a workbook, and there are a lot of different things in that book, but it's talking about visualization and how it's when you have this vision, something gets activated in your brain, the motor cortex, and then you don't have to try so hard, work so hard, because it will activate you and you'll start getting inspired. At least in my experience and a lot of other people's experience, and according to that research, that you'll start getting inspired to make moves. For me, I was telling my brother about it, that I would sit up and imagine myself working out, exercising. Next thing I know, I can't take the dissonance, the difference between me imagining that I'm working out and then I'm sitting there. I couldn't take it. I couldn't reconcile. I had to get up and actually start working out, start moving my body. And so this is something that you could use, the visualization. You could use it for so many different things. And your body, your physical body will change from visualization. There's a lot of research on that, that just from sitting, imagining lifting weights, a person's body um, has changed. They built muscle just by imagining. Um, there's so much research out there about this, about these phenomena, but it's so important. Um, Again, getting back to it, that we can either envision obstacles in our way, or we can envision um, the path is clear, the coast is clear. We could do whatever it is that we want, and we can start clearing the obstacle out of our way so that we can actually create what we want, do what we want, have the relationship we want, have the car, the home, the business, the wardrobe, the shoes, anything, the money, the anything. So I just wanted to talk with you about that topic. I'm really excited to continue doing these videos. It's such um, a relief, it feels like, for me to continue to do this, to let the spirit flow through me and actually share this information with you. So I'm so glad that you joined me. Thank you so much for joining me again for another Minister's Minute. I look forward to talking with you again next time, and look forward to you liking this, subscribing, sharing, talking about your stories of, starting to clear out the obstacles so that you can create what you want in your life. So hopefully I will be back with you again soon to bring you some more information, helpful tips, things that hopefully you can use. So I will talk to you again soon. Love you. See you. Bye.